Hi, greetings, dear friends. I hope you're well. I hope the year is advancing well for you. We are in February and close to a time where many people will feel lonely. And I thought that we need to get together and talk about this so that nobody needs to be alone. You may be alone because you don't have a spouse, either you are divorced or you've never married, you are single for one reason or another, or you are even divorced. Or perhaps your spouse is living in a different country, so this is a good time for us to talk, those of us who may be spending away from our spouses for many reasons that are there. This is Dr. Penny. Healing with Dr. Penny is my channel. Again, Healing with Dr. Penny is my channel, and I encourage you to visit with me as often as you can. I'll be doing it weekly, and I hope you can join it. I am a clinical psychologist, a full-time mental health professional, and because of the needs from different people, who may not have time to come for counseling in an office. I'm also a certified telehealth counselor. In other words, you can call me from any part of the world and we can talk. Nobody needs to walk this life alone. I know what it is to walk alone. I can identify with you being a divorced woman, but one who is recovering along the way, and a woman who has found a way of dealing with your own lonely hours alone, and mostly with God. I'm not ashamed to say that I go to God for comfort, and I'm not imposing this on anybody, but it's a good way of doing it. I wanted us to think about how can we spend Valentine alone and still be whole and still enjoy ourselves. Remember that perhaps like me, you had a spouse some years past and things have gone the way they do. And anyway, the life happens, to the good, to the bad, and everybody can go through this stuff. And we need to get to a point where we accept ourselves and accept the fact that time has come. And yes, you may be spending it alone, but you know what? You don't have to be alone. You do not have to be lonely. One of the things we need to do is realize that I may be alone, I may not have that person with me as I did in the past, or maybe you've never had that person in your life, but you are still a whole person. Remember that we have made a mistake of expecting others to bring us joy. I want us to challenge ourselves and say that your comfort, your peace must first and foremost come from you, because the other person is just a compliment to you. And I say this with all due respect for spouses, for husbands and wives, but remember that you cannot load it on other people to give you the joy you need. You may have that person even for Valentine, but they are not giving you what you want. And so I want to remind each one of us and to encourage you. And please hear me out. I can identify with you. I've been there with a spouse and then without. I am not saying I know exactly what you're going through, but I want to say that it can be done. Please encourage other people to join in, because there are many of us who are looking towards the end of this week. Friday is the Valentine's night, and I know many are looking at it with sad hearts. I want to encourage you, jump out of that and start planning. We can do it. What are some of the things that we can do together? As I said, get in touch with other people. First of all, Valentine is not just about having people around you, but it is, what do you want to do with your own life? Can you be a Valentine for somebody else, even though they are not your spouse? And I'm asking us to do this in a healthy way that will give you a chance of enjoying the night or the day with yourself or with some friends. There are many alternatives, and I want to say, when Valentine comes, a lot of people get flower, red roses. I used to get beautiful red roses, but you know what? The idea behind it was not always what I had, because the flowers there, but the flowers would come, but I wasn't happy. And I want to own up to the fact that sometimes the flowers would be there and I did not enjoy them. So what difference does it make? Perhaps you're crying because you're thinking nobody can buy you those flowers, but be honest with yourself. You had been married, if you had been married like me, you bought those flowers, they brought you the flowers, but they did not give you what you wanted, love, genuine love. And we need to admit to ourselves that had I known earlier, even with the absence of that, I should have treated myself. Remember, you are a complete whole person. You get married to this person, you are dating this person, and before they came, you are surviving, you lived, you ate, you treated yourself well, if you know that you are a person of great value. Biblically, we are told that you are unique. There was never another one like Penny. There was never another one like John or Jane. And I'm talking to both men and women because I do realize that there are men who may be listening, or share with them. By the way, let them hear, because we don't discriminate. Life is life. It covers men and women. And before you met your spouse, the person who you married and then divorced, the person you married and then they died, or whatever has happened to bring you where you are, remember that you are a complete person. We have many singles who are well talented, well able. Let me complete what I was saying, that you are one unique person. There was never another one like you. There will never be another one like you. And you have talents that nobody else has. I want you to start valuing yourself. And so whether you have a Valentine date or not, remember that you are complete. You are a very, very big and important part of humanity. I cannot be you. You cannot be me. And so I want to remind you that with a Valentine date or not, you are an incredible human being. And it is a high time for you to appreciate yourself and know that you don't have to have somebody. I see men are joining also, and I thank God for that. There is my brother, Frederick Ngure. Thank you for that. Thank you, Fred, for joining. Tell the men also, we are not discriminating. Loneliness can be there for anybody. And so why are we talking about Valentine? Because I know there are many, many who are journeying this life alone for very many reasons. And truth be told, there are many that are still married, but they are still lonely. I was in that boat. I know what it feels to be in that. Karibu Kintakunte. There are those that are in those relationships, but they're just as sad. So I don't want to be harsh on anybody, because I know what it feels to be alone. And yes, I don't have a spouse at the moment, but I'm planning on enjoying my Valentine. Could it be that I'll enjoy it with my granddaughters? I'm planning having some fun because I deserve it. You have only one life. Remember, it is passing right in front of your nose. What are you doing about it? Are you going to wait and moan and groan because you don't have a Valentine date and you have yourself? If you are a believer like me, you remember that God loves you just as you are. I make a joke with myself because when you go through some stuff in life, you learn to talk to God like your friend. My God is my papa. My God is my best friend. Call somebody and tell them that, you know what, I have a daddy. My daddy is gone, but I have a daddy. I don't know who you call your daddy. I don't know who you call your best friend, because I know you can have a spouse and still have those moments when you're needing somebody else to touch you. And I want to believe that if you are living well and doing the right thing, the other person to touch you and make you whole is God. He says you are beautiful, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. He's not saying that you are that way because of your husband or because of your wife, or because of your children, or not even because of the career you hold, not even because of all the money you have, but you are complete. You deserve that Valentine. You know you need to enjoy just like any other person. Some of the things I talk about in enjoying yourself is go for a moment, go for a walk, watch a movie, buy yourself, and make sure that when others are going out for a date, go for a date with yourself. If you don't want to call another alone person, another single person, you can gang up together and call a singles Valentine night. That's one way of doing it. Call your friends. You know those who are single like you. See whether they would like to go for a dinner. I love eating at the Olive Garden. And I'd love to call somebody. I'm going to call some friends and make sure that we can go and have some soup and salad. I love that. Nobody can stop me from doing that because I'm not breaking anybody's rules, but I'm just encouraging you, don't do it alone. Don't allow the devil to come and sing at you, or because you are divorced, or because you are separated, because you are a widow, because you are a widower, you cannot enjoy life. You still deserve a life. Remember that every day that you wake up and every day you go to sleep, this is a day that you need to enjoy, because God has given you an extra day. When we are losing so many young people, and I'm thinking, God has kept me to this age. What have I done with my life? What are you doing with your life? Or are you sitting there and mourning every night and every day that I am alone? I want to encourage you. Valentine is coming. Go celebrate yourself. Celebrate the fact that you are alive. Celebrate that you are a gift to humanity, whether they admit it or not. You know what? Sometimes we live with people, whether they are friends, colleagues, neighbors, people who don't acknowledge you. Start by acknowledging yourself and say, you know what, if I'm alive on Valentine's night, I am a Valentine to myself, to my children, to my friends, and you are my Valentine. If you are listening to my voice, I want you to know that you make a difference. I am who I am because you are there. And I want you to know that while I don't see you in person, while I cannot hug you in person, I've learned to tell my friends, especially when I do counseling online, I have learned to listen to people sobbing and crying, and I'm telling them, please imagine I'm hugging you from the distance. I'm hugging you spiritually. And I want to do the same even tonight. I'm hugging you, I'm encouraging you and reminding you that you are a man or a woman of great value. If nobody has told you that, wake up and tell yourself, you know what, I'm alive. My life has a meaning, my life has a purpose. Do you love flowers? Would you buy somebody else flowers tonight? Why don't you order a bouquet of flowers? I'm going to order myself a whole bouquet of 12 red roses for me. I have a son who makes sure that mommy has that bouquet of flowers. But this time I'm going to have a double present for me. He will buy one, I'm going to buy one, and I am going to think, who can I buy and please them and remind them that you can be a Valentine to yourself and to somebody else. Remember, I said we are complete in Christ. Other people are complementary. Your spouse is a complement, and you are a complement to your spouse. But I want to challenge you to remind you that you are a person of great value. Do you enjoy nature walks? I know we're in the throes of winter, and I'm longing, I'm hoping and praying that this Saturday will be a brighter day, because I'm going to take myself to the botanical garden and walk. Just walk. Enjoy the flowers. Look at the birds singing. Look at the butterflies. Enjoy them. You know what? We are here today. There are many people who are not here who should have been here. There are people I would have loved to have in life today. You and I have done nothing to be alive. So you worried about celebrating Valentine or being alone? And are you scared of being alone for Valentine? Wake up and tell yourself, you know what? I will celebrate Valentine with me. How about looking for somebody who may be sick and they cannot even go out for Valentine? They don't have a Valentine, they are not able to do it. Can you do something, an act of kindness, an act of loving somebody else? You know what? I've learned the hard way that even when I am sick, when I am not feeling like myself, there are times I have pushed myself and left the house to go and attend to somebody else, to go and look at, see somebody at the hospital. And I came back feeling much better. Valentine can be that kind of an act. Who do you want to bless? Who in your neighborhood is housebound and they are looking for somebody who can go out for Valentine dinner or date with them? If you know your neighbors, look for somebody in your neighborhood. Do that instead of staying in the house or staying cooped in your room. And I know I'm guilty of that. Sometimes I find myself in my room for hours. Look behind me, there's a statement that says, life is a long journey, enjoy it. And remember, it's not waiting for you. Every moment you wake up, the clock is ticking. From the moment I started talking, the clock is still ticking. What are you doing about it? How are you losing your time to nothingness? Think about that. Do you love riding? Go out and ride. Do you love just do you love music? Look for your best CD. I love listening to worship music. Go out somewhere, sit out in the sun, and even if it is not very warm, dress up and tell yourself, I'm going out with me. Learn to be with yourself. Learn to be comfortable with yourself, because remember that maybe because as a mental health professional, I spend a lot of time with people who are hurting. I have learned to value and treasure the moments I spend with me quiet, not listening to people weeping. I love it. I love my work. I love being there for other people. But I have also realized after retiring, after finding it necessary for my body forced me to slow down, and I retired kicking and fighting, but today I'm enjoying those moments, and I'm telling myself this is my first Valentine out of full-time work, and I'm telling myself, yes, I'm still working, I'm still doing my private practice, but I'm learning to make time for me, make time for Dr. Penny, make time for you, make time for you, and go out and be with yourself and enjoy yourself. How about baking? If you love baking, if you love cooking, think of a special dish you are going to make. And if you don't have people to invite to your house, how about making it and sharing? I'm thinking of making some banana bread for my friends. And that way I feel like I have celebrated, my Valentine with somebody. For my grandchildren, I want to spend that time doing something that I don't do every day. How is Valentine going to be special for you this year? You have to be purposeful. You have to make a choice. Either you sit and mourn every day, or stand at the window and look at people driving in and out of your neighborhood going for their dates. Go for a date with yourself. Drive out and go to places that you don't always visit. Go to some place that has a waterfall. Listen to the water dripping down and tell yourself, my life is my gift. Life is a gift from you. From God to you. What are you doing with it? Look around you. See how many people are passing away abruptly. No warning, no sickness, no nothing. Not age. But time is catching up with all of us. What are you doing with yours? Other things. I said you can bake or go to your favorite restaurant. I said I love going to Olive Garden. I'm planning on making some time. And don't tell me you don't have money, because, and I'm not being rude about this. Yes, I know we are counting money, and I'm in that season of my life. But I've also learned that when there is a need in the community, you are the first one to go. When there is a death, when there is a wedding, when there is a baby shower, when there is a bridal shower, you and I are there. How many times have you looked back and say, I am treating myself? Remember your own Jerusalem. When Christ commissioned people to go out and preach, he told them, you will start in Jerusalem. Jerusalem is you, your family. You can even take your family out and tell them, you know what, I want to celebrate my Valentine with you. Like I said, I will go with my granddaughters. My son and my daughter are going to have their own Valentine, but I plan to have a Valentine. I'm not going to sit and cook myself and cry. Look for your daughter, look for your son, look for your sister, look for your friend who is also single like you. Remember, we say that an idle mind is a devil's workshop. I'm not going to leave mine for the devil to play around. And I have this habit of saying that when you're not planning something, the devil plans a lot of stuff for us. When I cannot tell myself some positive things, and I have learned to remind myself there is power in my tongue. If all I'm doing is complaining and whining, the devil has a way of using those words against me. How about taking care of your home? You have a space. You are working. You have other businesses. You're running your business. You're doing I have my own private practice, and yes, even when I'm at home, I'm working and doing this. I'm writing, but sometimes you may choose and say that on that day I am going to treat myself, clean up my space, clean up my home, and you'll tell me that that's not what people celebrating Valentine's do. It's a choice you make. How do you want to celebrate it? Clean your space so that you can look at it and say, you know what, I did myself a favor. I cleaned my space. How about some shopping? If you are like me, you're constantly shopping for other people. You are known for that. I am known for that, and you are known for that. How about going out and buying something for yourself? I said buy yourself flowers. If you love flowers, buy yourself a bouquet of flowers and treat yourself. You deserve it. You work for it. Your life matters. And by the way, as a therapist, I have learned to tell people that help me to help you. Show people how to treat you by treating yourself as a person of value. Show other people how to honor you by honoring yourself, by honoring your life, by reminding yourself that life is not static. I am not where I was yesterday. I need to be somewhere. Come Friday, the Valentine Day, I need to be somewhere else. Spending time alone helps you to recharge your batteries. I said, you have worked, and even if you're still working now, you're still working, you're still doing stuff, you're investing in other people. How about investing yourself in your own life? Start by loving yourself, doing stuff for yourself. I said shop, you take yourself to a restaurant. The other thing is, I said somewhere that you can also gang up with friends who are single like you. If you are divorced, there are many divorced people who would rather be with somebody who is divorced, who can understand them, who can identify with them, where you can go and talk about loneliness. Some of us are empty nesters. If you are there, you know what I'm talking about. When your house is your home is you're all by yourself in your home, and most likely you don't even have a spouse. Either they passed away or you parted ways. And I say it again: these things happen; they will happen again. But the way you choose to look at that situation will help you to move on or get stuck. Please don't get stuck, because life will move on. Just like, unfortunately, the reality is that we bury somebody, even the people we love. We love our parents, we love our families, and we move on, because that is what life is all about. Don't get stuck there. God has given you an extra day for a reason. If you are alive today, remember that God has something good for you. He says it in the Bible: forget yesterday. What can you do about it? Yes, you've gone through that pain. Yes, you've been abused. Don't dwell on the abuse and forget to enjoy it today. God has given you that freedom today. With all due respect, honor the freedom that God has placed in your hands. Enjoy it, appreciate it, honor yourself. Teach us how to honor you by honoring yourself. Love yourself and teach us how to love you. The quiet times you spend together, I want you to use those times to reflect on yourself. When I came to the US, and people are celebrating their 50th birthdays, and I still see it on Facebook. I still see it on WhatsApp when people say, I am 50 and going on. Remember, they say you've gone over the hill. Take some time and reflect on yourself. How are you blessing yourself? How are you thanking God that you are where you are? If you're in your 20s, celebrate your 20s. If you're in your 50s, celebrate your 50s. If you're in 70s like me, I will celebrate my 70s, because it is a gift. Don't take anything for granted. And I said, time is passing. Spend some time and reflect on yourself. By the way, it's never too late to dream. It is not too late to dream. You could use this day to plan your life ahead and say, if God keeps me for another year to see another Valentine, this is what I want. The New Year resolutions are very common, but sometimes we leave them behind. Before you know it, you have forgotten those things have happened and you can no longer keep up with that. I want us to use this time, the Valentine's Day also, as you quiet down, as you slow down, as you spend times with yourself, reflect on your life. What are you thankful for? What are you thanking God for? And really, we say that count your blessings and not your problems. The devil is very good at highlighting the problems we have. No wonder he tells us we don't deserve to celebrate ourselves. I want you to celebrate yourself, because one, you are alive. I have lost younger siblings. I know what it is to die young. And so I am grateful that God has kept me. What else are you grateful for? Do you have your family, even though the divorce took place in your life? Like me, you have your children. I still have my siblings, the few that that have survived. I have good friends. I have two high school friends, Jane Bio and Anne Gaturu. I call them by their names because they've been a blessing to my life. I call my 6 children by their names because they've been such a blessing. Even if I didn't have somebody to celebrate Valentine with, I have a whole bunch of people I call my own tribe. Who is your tribe? Do you acknowledge them? If you do nothing on that day, call your family. I'll call my people. Call your tribe and tell them you are grateful because they are still in your life. They are still in your life today. I am who I am because they've never given up on me. At the worst times of my life, when flowers or no flowers, I felt like I wasn't worthy. They stuck with me. Who is sticking with you? Do you tell them? Celebrate them. They may be busy celebrating with their spouses, but please celebrate them. Serve yourself a good meal. Whether at home or in a restaurant, I'll say it again, take care of yourself. Accept, appreciate, acknowledge yourself. Have you been ignored? Have you been rejected? This is a good time to say, know what? Valentine date or no date, I am a Penny, Ayan, you are a Jane, you are a John, whoever you are, and Gaturu, you joined. Thank you, my sister, you are here. That's the one I was talking about. She makes me happy. Actually, that's the one I was saying. These are the people I'm going to look for to celebrate Valentine with me because of her. I am where I am today, all the way from Alliance to where we are today. Thank God for you and many others. My children, the six of them, my precious grandchildren, I honor them. Even if I had nothing else to celebrate, and I know there are many who are listening, and I don't want to make it so heavy on you. But look for something, my sister, my brother. Look for something and be grateful, because the devil wants you to count all the negative things. Do you still have a job? Celebrate that for your Valentine. Go out and buy something out of that job and tell God, thank you for this job. Do you have a beautiful home? Go around your house. Celebrate that gift of a home. How about your health? Those of you who are my friends, you know I've been battling poor health, but you know I am celebrating being alive this Valentine against so many odds. It is well. If you are still above the ground, you are not 6 feet under, you have every reason to go out and tell the devil, you are a loser. I am here. I am celebrating. I am grateful. Amen. And then control the media. We are spending too much time on the media, on the Facebook, on WhatsApp, and sometimes we are hearing and seeing stuff that is taking out our joy. That may be a day you tell yourself, this is my day with me, with my family, with my friends. Yes, look here and there. But you know what? The other thing I've realized is that the much we are on Facebook, we are looking at fake lives. Let's be honest, because it is on Facebook where we make other people feel like you're posting stuff that is not real. You're posting celebrations that sometimes are not real, and you're making other people who are not where you are feel like they are less than good. So that's what I'm saying. I dare you to control what are you listening, what are you watching on the media, what are you watching on the TV. Soap operas, be real with yourself. Remember that human beings are good at pretending and giving you false pictures of what really they are not. I lived it. I was the best pretender when I was going through my own stuff. I wouldn't have told you. You wouldn't have known that I was going through it, because I wanted to show the world what society, what is expected of me. I wanted my family to see what I knew they expected of me, and that is going on even today. So remember that the people you're envying today and thinking that they are celebrating life better than you are going through their own stuff, but they are just like you, they're hiding. So celebrate yourself and stop comparing yourself with other people. Celebrate your Valentine with yourself and tell yourself, I deserve this. I will do the right thing. Again, I want to go back to something that we are told. Remember, your body is the temple of God. You didn't just fall out of the blues. You are created for a major divine purpose. Don't ever let anybody take that away from you. I'll say again, Valentine or no Valentine, nobody else can be you. You are unique, you are beautiful, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Celebrate yourself. If nobody else celebrates you, celebrate yourself. Launch something new for yourself. Do you want to, right? That could be a day where you tell yourself, and you know what? I am launching something new in my life. Do you blog? Maybe start a new blogging. My son has been challenging me. Mom, you need to go back to your blog. That is the day I'm going to launch my blog again. I am going to start putting my final the final compilation of my book together from that time. That is the picture I'm giving myself. That's the gift I want to give myself, that here, let me use that day to start some milestones. I want to encourage you. What new thing do you want to start that day for yourself, for other people as well? How about visiting somebody who needs a visitor? Do something useful. Do something creative. Do something that is meaningful, not just to you, but to somebody else. Be a blessing. Don't let the devil use you to hate yourself and to make you feel like you're good for nothing. Remember that you can make a difference. Even on that day, when you're thinking that yours is the worst situation, there is somebody who is going through grief on that day. And not just about the grief of losing somebody to death, but there are people who are grieving a lot of things in life. Who can you support? Who can you encourage? Use that day to be useful. Use that day to do something that you can look back and say, I am glad I celebrated Valentine this way. During Christmas, we go to places, we go feed the homeless. You know what? There will still be homeless people even on Valentine. Think about it. Valentine and the cold, there is somebody who you can go and just encourage as you pass. If you want to celebrate, you can choose to buy a meal for somebody. Be a blessing to them and let them know that they were celebrated by a stranger on Valentine. Even in our churches, there are things that are going on of celebrating Valentine. All I'm asking is that let us not just sit and complain. Let us not sit just because we are single for one reason or another. Let us do something that makes my life meaningful. I am not just a dot on the globe. You are not just a dot in your village. You are not a dot in your community. You are not a dot in your family. When others are celebrating, celebrate yourself and know that nobody else can be you. Stop looking for validation from other people. Learn to validate yourself. Affirm yourself. Remind yourself that you are yourself. You are unique. You have a purpose in life. We are reminded, stop looking at what you have lost. This is not the time to look at the fact that 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I had a date or I had a husband, I had a wife. Is it there? It's not there. The prayer that where we say that God help me to accept what I can, to change what I cannot change, and wisdom to know the difference. That is where we need to be. There are things you can change. There are things you cannot change. But you cannot dwell in the past and continue complaining that you used to have all those gifts and all those things going well for you. They are not going well for you, but you are still alive. I want to encourage you to look at something you can do. Do something meaningful with your life. I said you can go for you can gather some few friends who are single and celebrate together. Enjoy, accept, and value yourself. Value your independence. Value your independence. Spend that quality time with yourself, because if you are working, you are running. Many of us, we are in foreign countries, in diaspora, we are running, doing doubles and triples. Could it be that this would be a good time for you to spend quality time with yourself? Go for a spa. Take a bath and sit and light a candle in your house. Smell good. Take a shower and use pamper yourself. You deserve it. Your life is not, your joy and happiness should not be dependent on other people. I've learned the hard way that sometimes we burden everybody else to bring joy and happiness in our lives, where really what you really want is within yourself. It's a choice you make, because even if your spouse brought you those flowers and you have made a choice to be dull, it will not make a difference. And so I am challenging us, spouse or no spouse, date or no date, you have yourself for a date. You have yourself for a date. And again, there are many people who you can talk to even on that day. Take a break from serving other people. If, like me, you love serving other people, you're always creating, what can I do for somebody? What can I do for other people? You are running and running and running and never recharging your body. Let that Valentine day or night be a time to recharge yourself, to reflect on yourself, to look. I want to challenge you. Sit down with yourself and start thinking, what are my talents? What are my gifts to other people? How have I been useful to the society? How have I been useful to my community? Start blessing yourself. Have you been rejected? Start valuing yourself and telling yourself, you know what? It doesn't matter what they say about me. It doesn't matter what they have done. But if you are right with God, stop waiting for people to validate you, because what you forget is that when you are doing good, sometimes you are beaming that light on other people. That little light of yours, you are beaming it on other people and making them see their own inadequacies, their own weaknesses. So stop waiting for people to validate you. Start waiting for people to celebrate you. Go out and celebrate yourself. You deserve it. And if you have somebody you can go and celebrate, go out and celebrate them. Look for somebody. Look for something. You have lots of people you can bless. Actually, if you really think about it, you'll find that this day can be so full, you'll be surprised. Somebody is in the hospital. Would they be celebrating Valentine? I know what it is to celebrate Valentine, Christmas, New Year, in the hospital, in a hospital bed when everybody else is having fun. Go and be the fun for that somebody. Talk to somebody. Call somebody who is feeling lonely. Call your friends. Call your cousins. Call somebody. There are many and you know them. There are those that have, we keep talking about depression and suicide and everything. How many people do you know are dealing with hidden depression? They don't talk to anybody because they know what we are expecting of them. And I said here, I hate my depression. I hate everything because I knew what people were expecting of me. And that is what I gave out. I want to encourage you, go and search out that person you know. I've not seen them in church. I've not seen them. And when we meet in the grocery store, they're in a hurry because they don't want to talk. This may be a good time to tell them, you know what, I missed you. I just wanted to check on you on Valentine and tell you that I want you to be my Valentine if you could. And you don't have to have any agendas behind it, but you don't know what that means to a lonely person. Take them some flowers. If you know they love cheesecake, just buy a good cheesecake and take to them. Whatever you know they love, bless somebody. That's all I'm talking about. Stop sitting alone and whining and counting the things that are not going right, and counting how many years you've not celebrated Valentine. It's the high time to say, the last one was the last one I celebrated alone. This one is a new one. Amen. You can do it. And as I challenge you, I'm challenging myself because I've not always done it right, but I'm tired of waiting for people to give me joy. I know I can do it. I know you can do it. And together we can do it. Remember, life is passing. It's not holding on for. It's not holding on for me. I've learned the hard way. Love on other people. Today is Monday evening. Plan it ahead of time. Don't just wait for a chance. Don't wait for other people to tell you what to do. And remember, pray about it. Behind me, you can see a plaque saying that prayer changes everything. I want to encourage you, go and do what you're doing. Don't do it alone. Karibu Jerry. Thank you all who are joining to do this with me, because yes, we do need to celebrate. I'm talking about celebrating Valentine. I don't want you to be scared of celebrating Valentine alone. And I want to admit, like I know I have experienced that maybe you have a spouse and it doesn't happen. So it's not just for the singles, but it is for anybody. bless yourself, buy yourself some flowers, take yourself for a meal, or cook the dish you love most, or spend time with your children, or spend time with your friends. I will say it again, an idle mind is a devil's workshop. Don't spend time with the devil. And he doesn't know. He just needs a small window. And that is why we are having, I hate to say this on a day when I'm talking about Valentine, but you know what? I'm learning to be real. Loneliness, isolation, poor self-esteem. These are things that make it very hard for us to celebrate ourselves. All of us can admit, especially those of us in diaspora and everywhere, that depression, stress, and all the things I've mentioned, the list is endless. Grief. Perhaps you lost somebody within the last 1 year. You might have celebrated Valentine last year, but between that time and today, you have lost somebody. You have lost your marriage. Your children have gone haywire, even though you've done everything possible. And before I forget, don't laugh at somebody because things are not going the way they want, because nobody plans for bad things. Nobody plans for failure, but bad things happen to any one of us. So be there for somebody. Maybe even as we are thinking about Valentine, there is a mother somewhere, there is a father somewhere who does not know where their children are. Can you be a support for them? That may be your Valentine for them. Talk to them and let them know that it is not always their fault. Your words of encouragement, your words of empowering other people may be what you're giving out there. Valentine is not only about flowers. It's not just about love notes and everything. They are good when they were happening. When they happen, they are good. We'll celebrate them. But there are many different ways. Remember that. Let's go back to where we grew up. What was Valentine? We didn't celebrate it it came later in life, and our parents never did. I want to imagine that if they were celebrating, they would be busy providing food for neighbors who had no food. That's our culture. What can we do to make it better for another person? If you're cooking for your family, cook something extra. Take some of it and bless somebody you know they are struggling. Maybe like we used to eat, chapatis at the end of the year for Christmas. Maybe you have a neighbor who doesn't have a good job, but they have children who need to be eating just as well as your children. Valentine can be that time where you used to go bless a family, visit somebody in the hospital, help somebody, an elderly person. By the way, an elderly is the elderly generation. And you know what? We are all headed there. You might be a Valentine to that person who remembers it as history. Go celebrate with them. Go buy something for them. They don't even, maybe they're not even thinking about flowers. Perhaps they need a pain cream, a pain rub. Buy one and let that be your 12 roses for that person. Maybe there is a drink that they love, but they can no longer afford it. Go take it for them. I'm not talking about alcohol. Bless them with something that they will remember and value. If you like buying cards, like I love buying cards, who can you buy that? I have bought cards for my girlfriends. I have bought cards for my children for such a time as Valentine. Just be creative. Open up your mind. Laugh about it. You know what? I refuse to be so bogged down with all the things that I have hoarded in my life, anger, bitterness, and everything. This may be a good time to let all those emotions and tell yourself, you know what? I have had enough of this. You love singing? I love singing with my grandchildren. That would be a time we can sit and sing or listen to some fun music. They've now come up with their own. Just be creative. Go cook with your children, go run with your children, go for a walk, just practically anything. I think I can repeat myself over and over and over because I think it is up to you and to me to make up our mind that I will celebrate myself. I will do what I need to do. Feel free to share this with your friends. And like I said, this is Healing with Dr. Penny. It's going to be a regular channel. Look out for it through Facebook and YouTube. I'll be discussing a lot of these things. Next time I'm going to talk about poor self-esteem. Why do we look down upon ourselves? Why do we fail to celebrate ourselves? No wonder we are worried about being alone for Valentine, because we look up to other people to honor us. I will start by honoring myself and showing you, teaching you how to honor me, because I think I deserve. I have lived a life that as best as I can. Am I perfect? I'm not perfect. You are not perfect. But there are some attributes that I need to know from you. You are my role model. Let me be a role model, because people are looking at you. By the way, how are you teaching people to celebrate themselves if you cannot celebrate yourself? I have children. I have nieces and nephews who look up to me. I am learning to remind myself, and I can see my niece Tabby there. Hi, Tabby. Love you, mommy. I see them and I hear them, and I see them looking up to me, and constantly I forget. But I'm now learning to remind myself that you need to teach people how to love on you. Don't feel guilty when you do good to yourself, because like I said, we are supposed to start with Jerusalem and go outward. Love your family, celebrate your family, celebrate yourself, and show your children and your family how to celebrate you by celebrating yourself this Valentine Day. You deserve it. You can do it. Start by yourself. It's not too late. I didn't do it for many, many past years. But now I'm saying, you know what, if I have 5 years or 20 or 30 years to live, I am going to do the right thing, because you know what, in heaven there'll be no Valentine. I want to celebrate mine while I'm still here with you. And I want to celebrate you. I want to say, I celebrate you. Whoever is my friend, whether on Facebook or wherever, remember, in the spirit, I will be celebrating you. And I thank God for every one of you that is my friend. It's never too late. There's nothing wrong with honoring yourself. Look at those elephants behind me. They're in a team. They are celebrating each other. I said life is a long, long journey. They know not to travel alone. Why should I travel alone when you're there? Why should you travel alone when I'm here? And I want to remove that shame and the stigma where we are looking down upon each other. Remember, I am because you are. Remember, you make me, you beautify me. God beautifies me, but you become a part of my tribe. Let me be a part of your tribe. I want to honor you. I want to encourage you. I want to motivate you to see value in yourself and remember that you deserve it. Don't go asking permission from other people to celebrate yourself. I'm going to close here, but I want to say I wish you a happy and blessed Valentine. Go celebrate yourself. Be creative. What is the best way for you? It may not be the best way for me, but I challenge you to go do that. Buy yourself a meal, a good one, or cook yourself the best dish ever. Buy yourself flowers, go for a walk, enjoy a movie, read a book, go for a spa, whatever will make you happy. But remember, you deserve it. You owe it to yourself. I said here that we are a community where people who love blessing other people. I want to leave it by reminding you that go celebrate yourself, invest in yourself, because you know what? God values you. Remember, he's saying, forget the things of the past. He's doing something new in your life. That's why I'm daring each one of us now to start looking at Valentine, not just as a time for spouses to celebrate each other or for dates to celebrate each other, but for me and you to celebrate ourselves, to go with other singles and celebrate each other, to encourage each other, to go to those who are hurting and celebrate with them, encourage them. Use this time in a very meaningful way, in a way that you can look back and say, I spent my Valentine last year feeding a sick person, visiting somebody in hospital, taking care of an elderly person, not just because it is your job as a CNA or a patient sitter, but because you chose to do an act of kindness, an act that makes a difference in somebody's life. I love you all. I speak a blessing over you because you deserve it. I want you to know I believe in you. That's why I'm telling you to celebrate you, to celebrate you, to celebrate yourself. And I celebrate you. God bless you all. Happy Valentine. Celebrate it with a difference. Honor yourself. Love yourself. Be creative about it. Thank you.